Environmental health within the Navy is effectively protecting everybody within the Navy and the Royal Marines and preventing them from getting ill. So whether that be by preventing them having food poisoning from an unhygienic practice in the galley, to ensuring that the water production on board a ship is safe, to ensuring that the personnel working in an engine room aren't exposed to excessive noise that will cause them later complications in life. To join as an environmental health officer, you really need to be qualified before you join the Navy. It's quite a specialist training route to do that. You either need to do a BSc honours in environmental health or a Masters in environmental health. We are quite a small branch within the Navy. There's only 7 environmental health officers within the Navy. They're based around the 3 main base ports in Portsmouth, Plymouth and Faslane up in Scotland. But we sit as a sub-branch of what we call the medical services branch. Our normal day-to-day role working within one of the naval bases would involve going on board a ship and undertaking really an inspecting role to basically say, look, we've been round, we've looked at the galley, we've looked at your food preparation, we've looked at how you're making water, the checks you've got in place for that, we've looked at your occupational health perspective and how you're monitoring noise exposure to the people on board. And really these are the main findings that we've got as to how you can improve the health of the personnel living on board your ship. I think the most interesting thing about being an environmental health officer within the Navy is the variety of the job. You could find yourself in a position that I found myself in 2003, while I was out with the Royal Marines in the desert in Kuwait, waiting to go over the border into Iraq, where you're actually then dealing with the basics of human sanitation. So digging in field latrines and creating water systems to supply the troops with water in the desert. I've just come to the end of working for 2.5 years up in London, working with the Surgeon General, undertaking the medical planning for the whole of the armed forces and the Defence Medical Services on operations and how we deploy medical personnel within those environments. I've thoroughly enjoyed my 13 years in the Navy thus far, and I think it's more than just the job that keeps you interested of being in the Navy. I've always done competitive swimming throughout my life, and I've continued that whilst in the Navy. And so not only have I travelled with the Navy as well, but I've also travelled with the Navy swimming team as well. And I think the job is just more challenging, it's more exciting. You never know what you're going to get from day to day when you come into the office. And that combined with all the other benefits of being in the armed forces have just made it a thoroughly rewarding career so far.